Oh, well, that's just great. Fucking this game. This fucking game. This game. This game, man. This game. You know, it'd be great. I need an invite back to show you this, but we do have a full grid today. You wouldn't believe it, but I do. We do. Um, this game. This game. Need someone to take from tier 1 to invite. Thank you, Manri. Oh my god. Oh, we're gonna soon. Oh, no money, go back. Once I'm in, we can get this rolling. Game. This game. Oh my god. Alright. Cool. Just to make sure this is right. Alrighty. Hello and welcome everybody to round 4 of tier 1 of ORL. We have a full grid here at Monza, and it is going to be one to remember, I'm sure. We have all of our quick guys, including 2 new faces with ZK and Noodles reserving tonight. It is looking like Abyss will have some real competition, and we might see some people able to take it to him today. It is also the Temple of Speed, so even people that might be outliers in normal rounds might be able to take it to him. A 19-0 from Tatner already smashing the tier 2 pole time, as we would expect. Now Munry is about to run to the line. Parabolica now just to navigate. He gets on the power and now runs it to the line. where he will try and get provisional pole. What's the lap time going to be? A 19.5. He doesn't quite take it away from Tapno, but he does pip his teammate, and he's in P4 for the moment. How will Noodles go and ZK go? I'm sure we'll find out, especially ZK, the man who is reserving for the first time in ORL. He's just been given the reserve shot and was wondering if he could race, and we found a free Williams seat for him. And as we head into Ascari, ZK pushing hard. I'm sure he's on no practice whatsoever, but he's going to give it his best shot as well. I know that he's up to the pace of Abyss and the likes of Noodles and SV and all of that, so let's see where he can put himself in his first run at Monza. Fifth gear, plant the power. Where's he going to place himself? Will it be in the top 10? I'm sure it will be. As he comes to the line, it's going to be a 1 minute 19.8. He goes 5th place. So already placing himself well up the grid in this qualifying session. Noodles is on a lap now in the Haas. He's heading into the first Lesmo. Get the power back down, and now into the second Lesmo. He's approaching some traffic who hopefully get out of his way. He runs wide at the exit of the first Lesmo. He's going to pick up a little slipstream there, but they get out of his way as now towards Ascari, one of the hardest corners of the circuit. As he just got to flick it in, don't cut the track. He just grazes the white line enough to stay in the track limits and then power down out of it, holding all the way to the right. He floats off just a little bit. He's going to get another bit of blockage there from a Red Bull, but he's alright for the moment. And now Parabolica, flick it in 6th gear. He's messed it up. That's going to hurt his lap time significantly. His PB is in the 18s, but he's definitely not going to do an 18 on this run. Actually, yes, he does an 18.7 there for the Haas with multiple tenths in it just from Parabolica alone, as he goes well faster than the rest of you. 3 tenths clear, and now Abyss is on a lap towards the second chicane after he navigates through Curva Grande, and now heavy on the anchors for the chicane over the first curve, over the second. Abyss will actually have to stress this race as he has some new faces to deal with through Lesmo 1 on the limit here. And then Lesmo 2, obviously we did see after last week at Singapore that he is just truly unstoppable at the best of times. Was it Singapore last time out? What was it last time out? Hold on. No, Saudi Arabia last time out, sorry. I'm skipping rounds in my brain. And yeah, we've seen he's unstoppable. He has a whole article in ORL written about him. Will is a Dominance Ball. Fans, feel free to check it out in the Discord server that is linked on the YouTube. And yeah, it's quite a good one, I think I did. If you know where it came from, you do. But he's gone P4, and now he is actually under pressure. So he is actually going to be facing a bit of struggle here, I think, as Jaden is on an in-lap. I believe Martin's on an out-lap, though, and we'll go to Zonix, though, Abyss's teammate, as he is rounding out his lap. So that RB looking to try get high up the grid. It's going to be a 19.8, so he goes P8 for the moment. Not ideal for him, but he'll be happy with where he's placed it, I think, as Italian Ramen is 6 seconds up and on a lap, so we'll stay off board with the Williams. So, a couple of drivers now, actually a lot of drivers on out laps getting ready to go again, but with 9 minutes to go, you can go out a bit later and still get second and third runs done, so I'd be waiting just a little bit longer. Ramen will be hoping to place himself inside of that top 15 just ahead of Globdrip around Martin's area as well. As Italian Ramen's pushing hard. Oh, he's had a massive moment. He's going to ghost. And that's going to hurt him. It looked a bit scruffy, just a bit of a slide, but he's still going to try and finish the lap here in the Williams. So as he rounds the final corner, what's he going to do? It's in Sector 3. That Williams looks comfortable. But what's the lap going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 20.2, P14, so he does mix it in with Martin and Globdrip. And now other drivers on laps again. Glob is down, Martin's down. Grateful Dog has just started a lap in the Mercedes, so we'll go on board with the Silver Arrow as he looks to make it past his teammate who's done a 19.5. He's on a 19.9. Oh, he's messed up. Turn 1 and turn 2, we have to go again. Zonix is coming into the pit lane. ZK's on an outlap. Munnery in the Silver Arrow will try again with Munnery here as he is heading down into turn 1. You've got to be heavy on the brakes. We'll get the telemetry on, and I'll leave you guys for a lap, actually, because I feel like Monza's the perfect lap for it. the track for it. Oh, and he invalidates and backs out of it. We'll now go to SV in the Aston Martin. The British Racing Green Aston looking quick. He's in P5 as it stands. Will he be able to find any more time on his lap as he flicks it in through Parabolica, rounds the final corner? See what he's looking at here. He's going to cross the line for an 18. No, not quite. A 19-1. P3 for the moment. Just behind his teammate Tapno. Noodle still leading the way as he's on a lap. But we're going to go to ZK, who's a bit further through in Sector 2. The Williams driver looking quite pacey already. Will he be able to get himself down into the lower 19s? No, he's backed out of his lap. It says he's 2 seconds down, so he'll be going again in this run. Abyss is 1.1 improving, but he's invalidated. Wait, 1.1 improving is crazy. Anyway, oh no, he spins! Takes off his wing! Oh wow, that is poor from Abyss there. Finally cracking under some pressure potentially, as now Noodles enters the same portion of racetrack where Abyss has just had his moment. Now the Haas, who he's reserving for, look like heroes right now as he's at the top, but his teammate all the way down at the bottom without a lap set. 6th gear through Ascari. Noodles is on controller, by the way. Look at that rotation. He's proving anything's possible here in the world of Formula 1, especially on the game, obviously. And as he rounds the final corner, down to 6th gear on the power, and let's see, will it be an improvement? Obviously it will be after his poor final corner on his last run. It's going to be no, it isn't an improvement, so he must have nailed this first run. An 18.7, I thought for sure after his Parabolica conundrums on his previous lap he would have been bound to improve, but I guess not. I thought too quickly, I guess. As ZK is a little bit up on his time, but we've looked at ZK quite a lot. We'll go to... on a lap, actually. No, I think we will go to ZK, who's 600ths up on his time, but he had a massive wobble through Ascari, so he's going to be struggling to find time. I'm sure he's down now. As he heads towards Ascari, he's out of battery, so he's going to be bleeding lap time all the time. He's not on that overtake button, but he gets Parabolica correct. And with 5 minutes to go in this session, will he find time or will he box? He's just going to pull in early. That mistake cost him a little bit too much lap time. Jaden is 2 seconds up, but I believe he'll be the next one to actually start a lap. No, Kuistra is heading through the chicane. He might find himself in that top 10 if he gets himself all tidied up through the lap. P12 right now, and he'll be loving it if he can start further up. It's not a great car around here, obviously. The cars are technically equal performance, but they are a little bit different. So, yeah, it's not one of the Red Bull's quickest tracks, but the difference isn't too big as Kuistra has a massive moment, slams into the wall. He's lucky not to DNF. We'll go down to Taipan TJ in the Alpine, who's looking pacey, 6/10 up on his previous best, and he obviously has seconds to find, obviously, as that isn't a representative lap time of 1 minute 23. I'm sure he'll find himself in the 19s after this run. That whole section of grid from P3 down to P13 are all in the same second in the 19s, as... oh no, Taipan's been blocked. That is poor from whoever it is. It's one of the Williams. It's not ZK, it's Italian Ramen, who's just completely blocked him, and Taipan will be fuming. He gets damage, invalidates his lap. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for him, and we'll now go to Grateful Dog, who's trying to improve, but is actually 2/10 down. Wish to retires from the session. Sorry, I need to tab out quickly. I need to fix something on my OBS so I can actually read chat. There we go. Alright, guys. Fire away with anything you want to say. I can actually see it now. Oh yeah, and another new face who hasn't raced yet this season, but he was in previous seasons. Lord Mahavir in the Ferrari. MX will be happy to see him on the grid now. Very happy, I'm sure, to see him out on the field and trying to fight at the top. He's P5 right now. I'm sure he'll be looking to go further than that, as Martin was improving there as he's heading through Sector 2. And by the end of this straight, he'll be into Sector 3, but he invalidates it. He's not having a good qualifying session whatsoever in the Scarlet Red. Neither is Italian Ramen in the blue of the Williams, unlike ZK, who's in P9. He's having an alright debut here in Monza. Everybody now scrambling to outlaps except Noodles and Abyss. They know they can go later. As how close is ZK to starting lap? He's only just started his outlap. ZX is pretty close. Mahavir is pretty close. Now Abyss is on a lap. Noodles will be soon. Tapno is also just at the start of his outlap. Lidozi is about to start a lap, so we'll go off board with the Alpine as he gets ready to start a lap here at Monza. Alrighty, Lidozi in the Alpine begins his lap. He crosses the line, opens the DRS up, and he gets ready for braking down to turn 1. It's a super tricky braking zone. Braking at the 100. Get it pulled up and cut the inside curve as the car hops up onto 2 wheels. You need to make sure to get the power down nice and early out of the chicane. And now flat out as he goes through Curva Grande. An easy flat corner nowadays, but back in the 50s, not as much. And Lidozi is up on his time by a 10th.5 as he heads into the second chicane over the first curve. Oh, no! I think his controller might have disconnected. He went very straight out of the second one. A very unusual incident. But now we'll go on board with our P3 sitter for the moment. SVYT and the Aston Martin. Braking down into turn 1. Second gear he opts for, but he locks up and that'll be lap over there as he's been all over the place. He has time to go again, I believe, but the yellow flag cautions mean I can't tell, so he might try keep pushing on with this, but I'm going to go to his teammate, Tatno, who has been the usual threat in qualifying. He snatched pole in Singapore. Will he go for a second time here at Monza? We'll have to see. Noodles is also on an outlap, so we'll see him shine soon as he's just began his lap. Tatno, if he's down, we'll go to Noodles and watch his flying lap as he heads into Sector 2 now. He's going to approach Sector 3 soon enough as he's ran deep. He goes off the track, but he's still on the road at the moment. Will he be able to improve? We'll have to see under the board here as he enters into Sector 3. No, he's down, so we'll go to the Haas driver who's approaching the chicane as he's gone through Curva Grande. Hopefully this is a good lap for him. Will he be able to get even more comfortable? Everybody's on flying laps here. The Haas driver giving it his absolute all here. Lesmo 1, he's completed well. Lesmo 2, this is where he's been struggling when I've been watching him practice, but he's gotten it done well. DRS open, he's got a slipstream from the Alpine all the way down the straight. Surely this has to be an improvement for the man in the Haas. Will he be able to get into the 0.5s potentially? We'll have to see. He dabs the brakes, he runs a bit wide, but the slipstream will make up more than a difference there. And then he just has to improve through Parabolica, which we've seen he's able to do. Will he be able to get it easily onto pole? Tatno doesn't improve. Abyss goes P2, only a 19.0. Noodles on the brakes, still picking up slipstream from the Alpine. He's giving him a bit of dirty air too, and now to the line. What's the lap time going to be for the Haas driver? It is going to be pole position, I'm sure. But it's going to be an 18.3 for the Haas driver. What a lap from him. And Mahavir's had to back out. Mudry is up on 2/10 though. Will he be able to move himself up into the top 5? He's got to find a little bit more if he wants to move back up into the top 6 though. ZX did improve in the McLaren. Mudry might want to try beat SV here. Well, obviously he wants to beat SV, but where's he going to place himself? He does a 19.2. P6 beats ZX, but not much more than that. Globdrip backs out of it. Mahavir not on a lap, so he just has to retire or finish a lap. Globdrip just has to finish his lap. But a dominant display from Noodles up the front. An 18.3 pole position. Abyss 7/10 behind. So the person who's won 3 in a row has some work to do. And this could end in fireworks. As Bio makes his appearance in chat. Engineering along with Noodles and Taipan, I believe. So, that's definitely a helping hand for them too. This is looking like a race for the ages. 3 people in the 19.0s of the top 5. Well, from P2 down to P6, separated by only 2/10. And ZX right behind. And then from there we have a bit of a gap from P8 down to P13 is our next battle pack. And I'm sure it's all to play for here. This is going to be such a close one. Martin claiming easy top 5, but you've been saying that every week. You can't say easy top 5s if you're not getting the laps together, mate. Just saying. But we'll have to see how he makes his way through in the race. ZK in the Williams P12 will find some time during the race. He is a pacey driver, and we'll see him improve. But Noodles P1, Abyss P2, Mahavir P4, his first appearance on the grid since the draft, when he got drafted. Then SV, Munnery P6, looking to make up places, I'm sure. Then ZX, Zonix, Globdrip, Taipan, Jaden, ZK, Grateful Dog, Kuistra, Ladozi, Keithy, Raman, Kane, and Aiden. Interestingly, Martin only a lap on the mediums. So, as we get ready to 5 red lights, it'll be interesting to see who's got high downforce and who doesn't. The Mercedes drivers struggling will be looking to find a way through. A couple of drivers struggling in that qualifying session, actually. But as we come to the lights, it's Turn 1 Monza. Anything can happen. Anybody can be a hero and make up places. We'll have to see. As Glop makes the quote of the century. With with Martin basically being the famous old meme, easy top 3. What, 16th? And yeah, I definitely agree. That's how he's feeling right now. I believe we are scheduled for a dry race here in Italy, by the looks of the sun. My bet for the win would be Noodles, but anything is possible here at Monza as we come to the lights in the Temple of Speed. And we're underway for racing action. Noodles gets off to a good start. Abyss doesn't get off quite as well off the line. Tatno now having the run at him down into turn 1. Hopefully everybody makes it through cleanly, but anything's possible. Noodles followed by Tatno, then Abyss and Tatno going wheel to wheel through the corner, and Abyss just out-dragged him on the exit, and now Munnery tries to get involved. He's already up 2 places off the start. SV holding his 5th place, but he's getting under pressure here from Mahavir, who's definitely putting the burners on. The battery is definitely enabled for him. Munnery thought about going up the inside, but here goes Mahavir. He has to back out of it, and then SV slots in right behind Munnery as the grid's still going wheel to wheel. That's a driver off at the back. I'm not sure who it was. It was Italian Ramen, who's been dropping places. Zonix is up 1. I think Taipan's also up 1. And Mahavir was under some pressure there from put some pressure on SV. SV got through, but here we go for round number 2 already as we head down to Ascari, who's going to come out in front. Taipan also trying to put some pressure on Zonix. The former Tier 2 rivals become Tier 1 rivals as SV clears him and Taipan clears Zonix. And ZX sitting in patiently behind as well as Taipan goes off the road. Zonix now gets a run back at him towards Parabolica. ZX might try to get involved here as well. It's only lap 1 and we've had plenty of racing. And there we go. Zonix is going to lead away from Taipan there, P7 and P8, but Noodles with a great lap 1, fast lap obviously because he's the first one to cross the line of the race. Abyss following suit, 6/10 behind. He's going to have to prove himself here. He has a driver of his caliber here on the grid now, and he's going to have to use his smarts to try and win it. We saw in Singapore he pulled out all the stops. He's going to have to do the same again with a bit less pace over his rival Munnery. Now trying to put some pressure onto SVYT as they head through Curva Grande. Will he try and make a move down into the second chicane? He's going to have to brake very late if he wants to pull this one off, and he doesn't quite pull the car up. But now I think it's that time where we talk about strategy. We pull up the tyres. So everybody up and down the grid outside of Abyss, Martin, and Keithy are all on the hards, but everybody else is on medium, so not too much to think about there. It's just when they box then. So here we go down into Ascari. Munnery poked his nose in, thought about it, just trying to make his presence known to Tatno, but he's not having any problems at all as Mahavir gets past SV, who's made a mistake and is ghosted, and now Zonix trying to get involved as well on the outside of Parabolica. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Who wants to be last on the brakes? DRS is enabled after lap 1. Everybody here will have DRS, so it's an easy picking move if he just sits behind, and that he does. Noodle sets the fastest lap of the race. Abyss is closing, but not enough to make a move. Speaking of moves, Zonix opens up the DRS, and he's going to clear the Aston Martin driver up into the top 6. Munnery also making a move up into the podium. The Mercedes driver having a brilliant time since the start. He's gone P6 to P3. He's already up 3 places. Zonix also up a few places, and SV down 2. So he's not having a great time of things. So we see ZK very close in. He's up 2 positions as well. He needs to move up past Taipan. These 2 rivals in another league in Tier 2 of that league. And he's having a tricky time fighting his rival, unlike we see every other time I've seen them on track together. And then Jaden also sitting behind them, trying to get involved too. As Aiden is rating 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag. Not sure what that one is about. It's a bit of an odd penalty for ignoring yellow flag on F1, but maybe some tomfoolery going on at the back, but we won't go and witness it, as Grateful making a move past Aiden, so he's not having a great race in the Mercedes. He's shown promise in other rounds, but not this one, as ZK gets past Taipan, and Taipan will try get him done again down the straight, back up into the top 9, but I'm sure the 1 points difference doesn't make it all for him. They have to close up to the rest of that front running pack. As Mahavir is making a run again on Munri, trying to swap the positions around. Munri's going to fight it again, though, on the inside. He backs out of it. He tries to go underneath at turn 2 for the switchback. Will he be able to get it done? He got a brilliant exit, and he's through on the Ferrari. It's been a brilliant move, but there's still wheel to wheel. When will he clear him? He's cleared him now. Mahavir finds himself without a front left end plate, though, so this fight could be pretty pointless once they head into the braking zone. Who's going to be last on the brakes? It's Munri. They still make contact. They continue to bang wheels. Tatno trying to get involved now as they head towards the Lesbos. Surely it's easier around the outside here for Munri, who doesn't have damage. There's still wheel to wheel towards this. Towards the Lesbos, and there's a bit of contact. And Munri is through, so it's a good move for the Mercedes driver, but he's going to get re-overtaken here towards down into Ascari. But Mahavir trying his best, but he actually backs off. He wants the DRS down into turn 1 again. He will be struggling with that front left end plate, but if of all the tracks, it is Monza where you want to do it. Noodles nearly broke the DRS to Abyss. It's so close between the two of them, but I think Noodles has a bit more downforce, so he's a bit down in a straight. Zonix in P6 just licking his lips here, thinking and looking at all the positions he can make as ZK thinks about getting a move done. He might get a double overtake as there's a McLaren off the track. It's ZX who's off, and now ZK trying to get involved using his overtake, but he's out of battery, so he won't have the drag down the straight. But they are going to go 3 wide up here. It's all kicking off. I'd like to see who's going wheel to wheel, but it's a bit hard to tell. They're all going wheel to wheel. Mahavir gets the move done. Munri loses 2 places, and Tatno moves up 1. And now Zonic's trying to get underneath. Munri can't quite get that one done as SV falls back, and now they're 3 wide. There's a Red Bull off in the back. Who was it? Who was it? It was Kuishra who's gone off, lost his end plate. And now further down, Jaden was trying to get involved on Type N, and SV couldn't get that one to stick. And ZK's dropped down the field, and he has wing damage for the pleasure as well, so he might come into the box. He's missing more than just a front right end plate. He's missing a little bit of his front right wing element too. So he's going to be struggling out there as ZX and Jaden's have swapped position there. Jaden finds himself in the top 10. He's just ahead of his teammate in P9 as SV 6/10 behind's got to close up the time he lost as Mahavir under pressure here, but he's not quite lost the position just yet, even with the damage. Tatno putting him under pressure though. So Tatno's gaining towards Parabolica. Surely you don't want to overtake into here, because then you don't get the DRS, but he's done it anyway. I think these drivers need to start thinking smarter, not harder. In this sort of situation, you want the DRS, but no, he's going to try to lead the train and get away with it from there. Munri, though, right up the rear wing of Mahavir, is going to open up the DRS, and there might be 2 overtakes made here on Tatno, who could lose 2 at once. He is going to lose 2 at once. Munri goes left, Dicky goes right. Now they find themselves wheel to wheel in the entry. Even Zonix goes through, and now Zonix and Munri are going wheel to wheel. Munri gets the good exit, but has a bit of a wheel spin moment there. Snaps his wheel to the right to counter steer and correct it, and now Munri has the run on Mahavir, but Zonix has a run on Munri. Will he go down for it as they head through Curva Grande? Will it be a Grande move here from Zonix as he tries the outside? He tries to get it done. They make a little bit of contact. They half spin. Oh no, Zonix has been spun around by SVYT, who's had not a particularly bright moment. It's all gone wrong for the RB, who find themselves spinning down the field, down into P13. I think SV, yeah, he did lose an end plate as well. So it's all kicked off here on lap 6, and there's still plenty of time to go. SV trying absolutely everything. Speaking of trying absolutely everything, Taipan moves up into the top 5. Geordie will be very happy with that in the Alpine garage, I'm sure. The team principal will be watching on. Very, very happy. So, Taipan trying to make moves. ZX retires on lap 6, and we have a safety car early on here. This helps the medium runners. They can go hard to the end. Will Noodles box? He is boxing. Abyss also pulls into the box, and he's on the hard, so he's going to try everything here on the mediums. He has no real choice, though, at the end of the day. Mahavir's going to box in for a hard compound tyre, so will Munry, who gives him a tap in on the entry. A bit of poor braking there from him. Taipan also pulling in. Tatno pulling in. The whole grid should be into the box here, and it's going to cause some major double stacks, which is why we say Martin slow down as much as he has. But the double stacks are going to hold certain people up in the pit lane. Noodles comes out, Abyss comes out quite easy, but everybody else is going to be double stacking and having some trouble here, I'm sure. So, and also everybody who picked up wing damage will be replacing, like ZK. He gets another breath in this race to try and make some moves. He actually moves up into P10, so he made some positions from the double stacks. He'll be chuffed with that one, and now he has round 2 to try. All he has to do is overtake Ladozi, and then he finds himself right back where he was before. Who didn't pit, if anyone at all? Everybody up and down the grid pit, except for Keithy, who just hasn't made it to the pit lane yet. So, everybody having a good race here. I think Keithy decided to stay out anyway. A bit of an interesting strategy choice there. Anyway, Italian Ramen is the only one driver up and down the grid as a penalty, as ZX obviously leads the race. First DNF of the race feels bad. He's had some struggles staying in races, and it continues on, at least staying in races with that damage, and this time around it's a DNF completely, so he won't be happy with that. The Aston Martin safety car leads us around the track, though. I'm assuming until the end of next lap. We won't come in this lap as nobody's caught up to the safety car except for a select few who are fighting up the front down to P9. ZK also about to close up and attach to the grid. But this gives everyone a second wind, a second opportunity. Jaden jumped up plenty of positions from the double stacks. He moved up to P5, so he'll be absolutely astounded with that one. He'll be so happy to find himself in the top 5. Type in TJ dropped down a place, down into P6, jumped by his rival there, Jaden. So, those two, obviously, they find themselves fighting each other a lot across the OCE region in all of the leagues that we have. So, yeah, obviously, they'll be looking for some ego points, basically, as Jaden is only a reserve Taipan full-time, though, wants to get the job done for Alpine. As the safety car not in this lap, obviously, there's a few drivers still closing up to the back. It'd be Keithy, Italian Ramen, Aiden is Raiden. And I'm just going to take a sip of water. He's saying his teammate gave him damage. This track is cooked, he says. So, he's going to be looking to fight his way back through. I didn't even notice how far he dropped. He's P11 with Martin hot on his heels and Zonix and Grateful Dog as well. Grateful Dog has a second win in this race. A second wind in this race. He definitely wasn't having the race he wanted to, but now he gets the opportunity to go again. Zonix in P13 is going to have to make some moves. SV finds himself right behind ZK, so not too far out of the train, actually. Everybody who was fighting there before is going to be fighting there again. Globdrip is the only odd one out who wasn't there before, as well as Ladozi. So safety car is in this lap, and we get ready to go once again for racing action. It wasn't too chaotic on lap 1, but this is basically lap 1 version 2, but with a rolling start. Noodles gets to take away the grid himself this time, as we'll get the telemetry on to see when he bolted on the throttle. This is Abyss's chance to get a move done. If he can lead the race and try defend, I reckon that's his way back into it, because before he was struggling to hold the DRS. So Noodles has the honour of trying to catch his opponent lacking. When's he gonna go? Surely it's at the last minute, right? He's gonna go soon. He's dragging the brakes just a little bit, trying to keep some temp in the tyres, and he's gone. As we are once again underway for racing. Abyss predicted it very, very well. Only 3/10 behind. He is gonna have a run down to turn 1. Will it be a move, though? He's closing with the battery, He pulls to the left-hand side. Noodles wants the inside. He wants to hold the lead. He does get that done. Munry holds P3. Tatno was under pressure, though, from Jaden Squires, who's trying to get involved at the back. It's a car path couple of cars ghosting and dropping down and finding themselves all over the place, as meanwhile Abyss trying to have another run on Noodles. He knows this is the time to go as they head down into the second chicane. He doesn't go for it. He very well could have, but he decides to play the smarter driver as Tatno goes off and rejoins. Doesn't get a penalty, but it will be a warning as he slots in front of Taipan, who's jumped Jaden. As Martin retires, is that going to be another safety car in this race? It is going to be another safety car in this race, and that is really annoying. Martin will be absolutely fuming. We're not sure why he DNF'd on the exit. Surely it's got to be contact. You don't just DNF in that sort of fashion without it being from contact, as Taipan and Jaden swapping around under safety car. Interesting tactics. But yeah, Martin will not be happy with that DNF. I'm sure he'll voice his opinions as SV saying, oh hell no, another one. Yeah, it is quite annoying. On lap 9 of 27, we've had 2 safety cars, 2 DNFs. 1 DNF per safety car is not too bad for ORL Tier 1 standards, if I'm completely honest. Normally, it's a car pile-up. But considering Monza's been good, all things considered, and I'm sure we're going to see some more fighting. Noodles versus Abyss is really something to watch. It is crazy. But Abyss thought he could have made a move. Abyss will be kicking himself if he didn't commit to a move further now that another safety car's out, because then he would have gotten the chance to lead the pack away. But he gets another chance at it, and Munry holding P3 well in that Mercedes. These three have to fight each other in a league race later as well. Just after this race, they'll have to go again against each other. I'm not sure what track it is. I think it might be Saudi Arabia for OCE. But yeah, they get to go again. So I'm sure all gloves will be taken off, as they'll want to get the early punches in so they have a chance later. Tatno and P4 is just looking to get involved, same with Jaden and Taipan. Mahavir P7 made up the move on Lodric. Ludozi hold station as SV couldn't get past him, same with ZK, who was jumped by SV, and then Zonix held station. Grateful Dog also held station outside of the position they gained from Martin's incident. It's SV saying he needs all the laps he can to get past. And yeah, I wouldn't disagree. It's a lot of cars to overtake, especially around Monza, where it is easy to overtake, but it's also easy to be re-overtaken. So he's definitely going to have a little bit of a struggle trying to overtake and then hold positions. And see some fighting going on. Lap 10, safety car is not in. Safety car will be in next lap. Let's take a look at the championship. Let me just pull up the standings. Give me one moment. Standings, there they are. Okay, so looking at the overall constructors first off, obviously I'm not sure exactly how Tier 2 went earlier, but right now it's RB leading the way. Haas is down the bottom in P8, so this win from Noodles could be absolutely crucial to their championship. It'd move them past 3 teams, putting them into the top 5. Meanwhile, Alpine, who Taipan TJ is obviously representing, same with Ludozi, who are both in the top 10 right now. That could give them a boost towards Mercedes, not past Mercedes, but towards them. A podium from Munry right now could be huge, as they would move up into 3rd position in the standings, as McLaren not scoring too many points, and Aston Martin having a fairly solid race themselves, a double top 10, could move them closer to Racing Bulls, as they are 66 points off the lead right now and need some good results past RB, but Abyss still fighting up the front and Zonix still fighting towards the point, so that's helpful for them. Tier 1 drivers standings wise, SV not looking good right now, and he's P2 in the standings. Zonix is P3 in the standings, both of them next to each other on the track, so whoever finishes ahead of the two of them, between the two of them, I think would take P2, and Abyss would just continue to pull away. Aiden is Raiden, not in the points right now, would find himself falling down a pocket, not racing. Martin needs to get himself into the points if he wants to move towards the top 5 in the standings, as he is only 2 points off the top 5 in the standings, which is 18 points at this current moment. Munry's podium would pull him up to P4 in this P3 in the standings, just behind Tata in the Aston Martin, who I believe is Tatno. But we've gotten away once again for racing. The safety car sticker just didn't go away, so I didn't even notice it while I was looking at the standings. But here we go for racing action once again. Abyss gets the same sort of restart he got last time. Massive over the curb. The car's looking super weird over the top of the curb. But Jaden makes a move up into the top 4. And Abyss still trying to put pressure. Will he learn from his mistakes last time and just well and truly send it down into the second chicane? No, he won't. Monry still holding station. Tatno making a move back past Jane, not wasting any time. He's nearly gone off again, and he spins around by his own fault. His wing damage really didn't help him there. He has a spin around, finds himself all the way down the back of the grid, just as I was talking about how he's having a solid race. So Jaden finds himself holding the top 4. He's a second away from Mahavir, who's just closed back up within a second. After this lap, we'll have DRS enabled once again. So this is where you need to pull a second. This is the one lap you have to pull a second. As we see Taipan, TJ, and Globdrip going at it, and Globdrip moves up into the top 6. He's not looking too bad in that Red Bull, as Kuistra has a 3-second time penalty now in the other Red Bull. And now SV makes a move on Taipan, but it's not quite done, as now the two Alpines are going wheel to wheel. Ladozi gets past Taipan TJ, and now ZK trying to get involved with Taipan as well, because Taipan has damage, which I failed to catch. He's going to be pulling over to the side into the pit lane. Now Zonix is going to try get towards ZK here. DRS not enabled on this straight, but it will become the next one. And Zonix gets past the Williams, and further down Grateful Dog gets past Keithy, who's not having the strongest of race. And now Grateful Dog needs to try and jump up past Kuistra, as Abyss only 3.5 tenths behind Noodles, so that could be an interesting fight, as this Silver Arrow is trying to fight at this Red Bull. Where have we seen this before at Monza? But no inroads just yet, as ZK and Zonix need to work together to get through past Ladozi and follow SV through, who's trying to put pressure onto the Red Bull driver. Globdrip is trying his hardest to stay in front, but I'm not sure if he actually has the pure pace to do it, but he's not looking too bad right now. Meanwhile, Abyss finally finds himself into the lead where he's used to being, but being Monza, anything is possible. But Noodles clearly made a mistake there, as the gap is 6 tenths. That could hurt him, but Monry also only 3 tenths behind Noodles. This could be now the fight till the end. 15 laps to go. Still anyone's game, anybody's game to play for. Noodles still the favourite, but Abyss leading the way in ORL. We've seen this before. He's so good at leading the way and picking where the car behind him is going to go. He is outstanding at leading, and 20.6. That'd beat some people in quali, so he is no slouch for pace right now, as we're on lap 14. No moves being made from Noodles or Munnery just yet. And this is the top 3 fight now to worry about, as Mahavir moved past Jaden under braking there. As down the order, nothing too much going on. We're going to move back up to the front field, as I want to stay with Noodles, who's in a bit of a sandwich between 2 cars right now. But he's really going to want to take the lead again towards Ascaris. You don't want to be held up there. We already saw how much time he lost last time. He got held up through there. And Munnery behind, putting pressure on. But Noodles also putting the pressure on Abyss. So as we head towards Ascari, will Noodles go for it? He's right under his rear wing. He decides to wait and for the run down to turn 1. Because obviously that is really the place. You don't want to just be re-overtaken if you overtake them at Ascari. You need to know you can get it done if you're going to go there. But he's recharging the battery and getting ready for an attack down to turn 1 as we head on to lap 15, 12 to go. Once we cross the line for this next lap. There's still plenty of time, but Noodles now right under his rear wing, opening the DRS, only 2 tenths behind him. It's going to be an easy move to sail past, and he moves up into the lead, and Munnery just watching. And now Jaden makes a move, and I believe there was also a position change between SV and Globdrip, and also further down here there's a little bit of a train. ZK under pressure from Ladozi, who's following ZK, and Zonix is following Globdrip. So, a little bit of a stagnant train all the way down to P13, basically. And obviously moves will be made, but Monza is the home of the DRS train. Not just the Temple of Speed is made for DRS. Oh, Grateful Dog, all out of shape on the curb there. Massive moment there for the Silver Arrow. He's having some problems as, oh no, ZK has fenced it, and he's lost his wing, and we get a safety car. Why? He's still driving. I'm just checking. Safety car is on reduced. And we get a safety car for ZK spinning off and losing his front wing. That is insanity. Monza has way too easy safety cars. This changes this race though. I'm sure we'll see some cars come in. There's not much tyre wear here around Monza. Everybody should be boxing for softs. So, let's see what tyres Noodles goes on to. Jaden stays out and takes the lead. So does Mahavir. But everybody else... Oh no, Ladozi stays out. So, he's trying something new. I guess Taipan's all the way at the back in P18. Noodles actually chucks on a fresh set of mediums, so he must have had another set in the bag. The medium will be the tyre to go on to, but I'm not sure if he's on a last year's set. Obviously, I did say softs can make the end. They could. Medium is the optimal tyre. The question is how many people had mediums left. Most of the grid had mediums left. That safety car was very early, so even if they are used mediums, they won't hurt you too bad, but definitely Abyss will be happy because, I mean, he was just on mediums, so, yeah, no, for sure, that everybody has another set of mediums, so... Everybody will be pretty happy with that. But Jaden, Mahavir, Ladozi, Ramen, and Raiden are going to cause some problems here on the restart, I'm sure. They're all on old tyres, trying to defend from a bunch of people on fresh sets. And they are the quickest on the grid, so this is going to cause some absolute chaos. Hopefully, Italian Ramen, who's been stumbling at the back the whole time, finds his footing a little bit here. And that Williams, and hopefully there's no incident with these guys trying to get past. Jaden, definitely an interesting strategy from him, considering he has the same engineer that Noodles does, same with Taipan, but he's trying something different and I respect it, so we'll have to see. Maybe he just didn't have an extra set of tyres, maybe he selected the wrong tyre allocation. But once again, the Aston Martin safety car finding itself with some screen time out there, and leading the field away, as it has done several times. So, but Myland are definitely getting an exercise today. And all of those guys stayed out once again. Who's that in? I think Munry had to come in again. So, Mercedes' worst nightmare, and as their team principal, I am very upset. Because that's his race ruined. But there is still 10 laps to go. 10 laps to overtake. So he's going to have to try. As SV reckons the 4 that stayed out of cooked. Yeah, no, I don't particularly disagree. But it is also easy to defend around here. We'll have to see how it ends up evolving. Jules is going to have to show his overtaking moves here. Obviously, he was able to fight Abyss well, but just having a battle versus overtaking a plethora of cars is two different things. And we'll have to see how he manages it. Oh, lap 17 to 27. SV reckons Abyss is going to get a penny as 2 warnings. So we'll have to see how that evolves. Definitely Abyss showing that he has to push a lot harder than he has been in previous rounds. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a penalty, how the race will be affected by that. Will the safety car be in this lap? I doubt it, because the Type N TJ still needing to catch up. That'll mean the safety car comes in on lap 18 going on to lap 19. So, Italian Ramen, I think, is definitely going to be the talking point of this restart. He's been up the back, he qualified up the back, he has basically no pace here, and he's going to be in the way of all of the leaders. I genuinely think it could be interesting to watch. And then obviously Aiden is on AI, so his AI just cooked the strategy. Anyway, one more lap of safety car, then we can get underway. So I can just casually come in for another set of tyres, I think. I think he's like, I may as well use it, but he's got to catch up as Tatno makes contact with Kuistra. So that is definitely interesting. Tatno picked up some damage from that and got a 10-second time penalty for the pleasure. So that's a talking point under this safety car. Definitely an interesting one to see. You don't see it too often. And that's going to hurt Tatno. He was up the front for the first portion of the race. Had to go and repair some damage earlier and never really found his way back. And now he's definitely not going to find his way back, as Taipan's gone on to another set of mediums. So he's having a jolly old time catching this safety car. So we'll have to see how Jaden leads the pack away. I'm going to shut up for a minute and drink some water before we get ready to get underway. Alrighty, here we go. Telemetry up. Let's see when he bolts. Taipan just catches the back of the field, thanks to some Jaden weaving at 150 k's an hour. Let's see how he manages to take this restart away. The McLaren, it's his first time leading away a safety car in Tier 1 this season. And he gets underway with the throttle to the floor as he opens up. And he got a good gap. So Mahavir under pressure there from Ladozzi, but then Mahavir burns the battery, closes up towards Jaden. Italian Ramen still causing some problems. I'm not sure what happened with Noodles, who gets a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag. A really, really strange penalty considering the safety car. Oh, as Ladozzi retires. As what has happened, I need to know. I'm so confused. Noodles got a 10-second for ignoring yellow flags. Ladozzi randomly just retired onto the left-hand side of the track out of turn 1 when they looked all well and good. As everything's kicked off here, and I am just left so high confused. That's our third safety car of the race. Ladozzi will be fuming, but Noodles throwing away the race to Abyss once again, I think. As we're going to have the safety car will come in. We're going to catch them on lap 20, so it'll come in on 21, I reckon, and, well, actually, no, Tatno needs to catch it. Might come in on 22. With 5 laps to go, it's going to be anybody's game, but Jaden could even win this one. Imagine Jaden wins Tier 1 here. That'd be insanity. Mahavir also knocking on his door, but I'm not sure what Noodles is going to do, because surely he has to come in and serve the 10 seconds, but also, that'd kill the rest of his race. We'll see what he does, I guess. Does he come in and serve the penalty? No, he does not. He's gonna bite the bullet, but that surely means he finishes in the bottom 5. Jaden comes in. Noodles takes the lead, but I'm still unsure of what the penalty is for. I'm just going to ask him in the Discord. Okay, so Noodles had a ghosted car over... Okay. There's a ghosted car that overtook, and then unovertook under the yellows, and then wouldn't let Noodles by... wouldn't overtake Noodles again. Then he got a 10 seconds. So we're going to ignore that 10 seconds as it needs to get removed. But Yeah, no. So it's gonna be a fight till the end, all out brawl. So obviously safety car will probably be in at the end of this lap once the Mercedes and Grateful Dog and Tapno catch back up. I was wondering why Noodle's back was just backing up all the way. And Aiden's AI definitely going to screw up the rest of the field behind them as well. So everybody P4 back is going to fall substantially behind the rest of the pack, which is not good. Yeah, Noodle's still in the contention for the win then, as that 10-second will be barred because of the AI. As Globdrip trying to get past the AI desperately on a safety car. Sadly, he won't be able to do it. If I could just let everyone overtake it, I would, but it's not. Anyway. Safety car hopefully will be in at the end of this lap, and we will have a 5-lap sprint to the end. Nothing better than a good old Monza 5-lapper, especially at the end of a league race. It's going to be all to play for. Noodles versus Abyss versus SV versus anybody else who's quick enough to get involved. We'll have to see. The safety car will dive into the pit lane coming on to lap 22. Noodles once again taking away the restart with his 10-second time penalty being mute because of this silly AI. It's anybody's game here. Abyss looking for his 4th in a row. Noodles looking to be the one who stops him after coming in first time as a reserve in ORL. How's he going to take this one away? Will it be the same as every other time where he gets on the throttle out of it? He straightens up the car under the P0 banner. He does bolt it. And Abyss right behind him. 2/10 tucked under his rear wing. Using all the overtake he can. Will he go for an early move like he has done on prior attempts? Abyss, Slipstream, ERS. And will he go for it? He goes late on the brakes, doesn't go late enough to get past Noodles. Meanwhile, 3 wide at the back, everybody trying to get past Aiden. There's a couple of 3-second time penalties. Munries gets a 3-second time penalty. Zonix moves up into the top 5 already. Munry dropping down some places. FaZe Kane also trying to get involved in the Sauber, who's looking for a place on Globdrip, who's looking for a place on Zonix. Will the Red Bull go up the inside of the RB? He thinks about it as we head down into the second chicane. Globdrip sends a bit of contact there with Zonix, and they just about get away with it. A little bit of scraping there. That could have gone very poorly for the both of them there, but they get away with it. It's going to be Noodles versus SV and Abyss, and it's going to be all the way to the end. They're both separated by 5 or so tenths. Meanwhile, Taipan's looking for a move on FaZe Kane, who's giving it absolutely everything to stay in this position. He hasn't found himself here many times in the race as Taipan loses position to Mahavir. FaZe Kane gets a 3-second time penalty. He goes off at Ascari. He's going to rejoin nearly right into Mahavir and Taipan. Everybody now is going to have to try to go around him. That's an easy unsafe rejoin penalty if anybody decides to report it, as he makes contact there with Jaden as well, just swerving down in the straight. There's a contact. Oh no! Massive crash. FaZe Kane out of the race at Parabolica, and there's another safety car, the 4th one of the race. A massive crash. Jaden lucky to get away with it unscathed. What a massive crash. Jaden will be fuming, and Noodles definitely gonna be a bit confused with that one. A 4th safety car. That's a guaranteed final one of the race, not just on laps, but also because of numbers. Keithy's in P4. Everybody, for the most part, has gotten past Aiden. The 2 Mercedes not in a good place. They've had a terrible race. It's seeming like a common theme this season, sadly, and Jaden is going to have to make some moves on them. Kuistra with 13 seconds worth of time penalties is going to end up going absolutely nowhere. And 5 laps to go here. It is going to be absolutely mental, as the safety car will be in once the whole grid catches, though. It'll probably be on lap 25. Actually, it has to be lap 25, as we have to leave a whole 2 laps of racing to go, so it'll be in the end of not this lap once we cross the line, but the lap after. And it's going to be up to Jaden to catch along with the Mercedes and the Red Bull too. It's been a mental race so far, and it's still going to come down to a blockbuster finish, as it seems to a lot nowadays since Tier 1 has gotten so competitive with Abyss and SV, and now even Noodles in the mix some weeks. Being a reserve, he dummies the pit lane. Nearly had me fooled, but I thought he wasn't that stupid, as SV also dummied it, so did Abyss, but not quite as aggressively as the Haas driver did. As Kuistra gets a 10-second for corner cutting. What is going on with him as he retires on track? As, SV, I did mention you several times. What do you mean? SV saying he never gets mentioned. Oh, as Munry retires in the pit lane. I'm a depressed Mercedes TP. I'm gonna go and cry to sleep. But SV, I did mention you several times. You're just deaf, clearly. Anyway, lap 24. Safety car will be in next lap on 25, I'm sure. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Noodles' 10-second time penalty won't count because of AI shenanigans. Abyss will try his best to keep his win streak alive. He hasn't looked to be the quicker one all race, but he has been staying with him just about in the DRS, so it's all going to come down to this. Firestrike is watching along in the chat. SV, you can thank me for hiring Noodles, by the way. I needed him to beat Abyss. I wasn't having another Zonix here. I just needed him to be beat one time before he got the streak too big. But Firestrike watching along as a Haas TP, hoping his reserve can take home the win. He needs those points if he wants his season to go well, as we head on to lap 25. Out of 27, the safety car has to be in at the end of this lap, sadly, because of the way all the rules work and shenanigans like that. Otherwise, it'd be a one-lap sprint, and it would be carnage, but it's still just going to be 2-lap sprint of absolute carnage. I'm not even going to be able to keep up. I'm sure I'll be voice cracking and out of breath by the end of it. Which is why I'm going to take a big drink of water right now. I strike saying Noodles could get a seat. No, I think he just wants to reserve, as he does OCE right after this, and he won't want to pin his focus away from a league where he's fighting for the championship. Yeah, of course he deserves a seat, SV, but I just don't know if he's going to take one, because I think he's focusing on OCE. SV says I'm not getting another win this season confirmed. Well, that was always going to happen with Abyss being around. Anyway, here we go, the blockbuster finish we've been waiting for. We're going to have a 2-lap sprint to the end. Safety car will be in this lap. Noodles, for the 3rd time, leads the safety car restart away. Abyss, hot on his heels. I'm sure fireworks will be flying for the winner. We'll have to see. And will he take it away how he has been previously? We'll have to see. So, Noodles has taken it just under the P0 board. Every other time he's taken a restart. Will he go the same, or will he try trip up Abyss this time? He surely needs to trip him up. He's not leading right now, and he needs to use the fact that Abyss isn't leading to try take control of the situation. He bolts at the same place he has every other lap, and once again, Abyss gets right underneath him with the overtake enabled. It's going to be a run down into turn 1. The two of them are going to go fight at it. And Abyss late on the brakes, same as last restart, but he goes kamikaze. There's a bit of contact, the whole grid gets slown up. Noodles has a chance to bolt away. It's still going to be Abyss followed by Noodles, but this time the gap is substantially bigger. But it's still only 4 tenths. It's still going to be anyone to play for. SV has to try and get involved here as well. Globdrip retires from the session. There won't be another safety car. Thank God. Kesey's in P4 from nowhere. Zonix might try snatch a P4 here. And Mahavir down the back also, as there's been a lot of DNS in this race, as Jaden moves up into the top 8 past Tatno, who has disconnected from the session. ZK looking to get a top 9 here. He's gonna, oh, and Tatno is just ghosted, not disconnected, as now Tatno gets passes back Jaden, but we're gonna move back up towards the front of the grid. This is the fight we all want to see. The fight for the win. Abyss only has one more warning until he gets a penalty. We're not sure what Noodles is looking like, but this is going to be crucial to the end, as the Haas drive, or the Haas reserve, is looking unmatched on pace like he has all race. But Abyss is still right there. DRS won't be on this straight, but DRS will be enabled on this straight. So then come the final lap. It'll be anybody's game. Wait, no, it is the final lap. I've forgotten it was only a 2-lap shootout. And Abyss doesn't have DRS on this straight. That is crucial. Noodles gets a 5/10 buffer towards the run to Ascari, which is the next DRS zone. It's anybody's game. Abyss is going to have to burn all of his battery as he is. Noodles has a lot less battery though, and towards Ascari, I'm sure Abyss will have a run at it. It's going to be whoever leads towards the entry of Ascari who takes the victory here. The gap is only 2/10. It's still anybody's game. Will the Haas reserve? He's made a mistake. Noodles has slipped up. He's made an error. And this allows Abyss back into this fight. Obviously, the game will always say Abyss wins because of this 10-second time penalty. It will be removed post-race. So this is for the win. Abyss opens the DRS. He's going to try to get the move done. He's gaining and gaining and gaining towards Ascari. Will he be able to pull it off? He goes all the way to the outside. Abyss is through on the final lap. It's a Zonix last season tier 2 type performance from him if he can just bring this home one more time. Noodles trying to give it everything, doesn't have the run, and it's looking like it's going to go the RB's way. Abyss is giving it everything. He's been behind all race long, but it's going to be Abyss to the line. Who's going to take the victory? Maybe not. Noodles is trying his best, but no. Abyss is going to take the win on the final lap, separated by such little. Noodles obviously will be in P2, but Abyss keeps his streak alive. Noodles unable to end it. And the question is, can Abyss be stopped? What a finish it was indeed. Noodles throws it away, all from one mistake at the second chicane. He'll be absolutely gutted, and Abyss will be delighted. And just what an end it was. The safety car restart couldn't have been more perfect. We could have seen several of the safety car restarts take us to the end with a completely different result. But he brings it home, and it's a double RB podium. Their constructors will be absolutely massive. Will have a massive lead after this one. What a race it was. And you can't help but be delighted by the fact that Abyss has won. It's Abyss followed by Noodles, then SV. I just want to see the gap. So, 45, 15, 3, 7, 7. And then plus 10. So, the 600ths was the gap between the two of them for the win. But it's Abyss, then Noodles, then SV, then Zonix, then Keithy, Tapno, Jaden, Taipan, ZK, Mahavir, Noodles. But obviously, sorry, not Noodles. Noodles will be P2 after this, and then Grateful, and then Aiden, Globdrip, everybody else. DNF'd up and down the field. There's a lot of DNFs, but it's Monza. It's expected. Congratulations to Abyss on the win. We'll get to interviews in just a moment. Trying to get everyone in for their interviews. We have noodles. There's a base. We just need place. Come on, where is he? He's just loading up this. The showroom ready. Want to take it away with its feet once he's here. Oh no. Taking his time, if I'm honest. Right, there he is. SVP3, let's get these interviews underway. Obviously, you picked up a P3 there because Noodles' 10-second is gonna get removed because of AI tomfoolery bullcrap. But, yeah, P3, happy with that one, or do you feel like you could have done better?
Happier than last week, of course. Last week I felt like I threw the win away, but still not as happy as I could have been. Today, I'm starting to find the pace that I had on 23. Obviously, finally starting to get close to the pack of it at a pretty bad quality to be honest. Started P5, was in P11, P12 for a bit of the race, and worked my way back through up to P3 in the end. But towards the end there, I was saving the ERS down the straights, and in the end that did work off because they had too big of a gap on me. So while at the end I had 100 ERS, they were already 6/10 gone, and I was just praying for a bit of collision, which there was, but at the same time, final corner when I was getting ready to burn had a little snap and it kind of threw everything away. So I guess I got to be happy for a podium. I'm 3 from 3 with the P3s in every race I finished in, so that's all right. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the better tracks. Is one of my least favorite tracks. So later in the season, when we get to the good tracks, that's when I'm gonna have some fun.
And hopefully, we'll see you moving just a bit past P3 soon enough. But yeah, great result from you. I actually don't know what next time out is. Let me quickly check. Where's calendar?
Also, props to Noodles. That bro, man, why did you bring him here, please? I'm
Because I
like,
needed someone to beat Abyss and it still failed, for God's sake. Anyway, next round's at Japan. How do you feel about Suzuka?
well, on 22, I really liked it. Last game, not so much. But with this game being more so towards the way I like to drive without the traction being the way I want it to be, I reckon I should be alright. I love riding the curbs, and that's one of the tracks where you have to hope you can ride the curbs. So with the new handling mod, I reckon I'll be alright around there.
Yeah, alrighty. So good luck for next week. But we'll now move on to our P2 sitter. Somehow P2 sitter. I'm very. I don't know. I don't know if I'm disappointed or just surprised. But Noodles picked up the P2. You got to feel a little bit of a sting for that. You led pretty much every single lap of the race, and then you get P2. What are your thoughts with that one? No, Noodles is just not responding. Damn. This guy. He joins the paddock VC for interview and then oh he's left. Okay.
Yeah, bro, just come back. Give me a sec.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting. There he is. Is he there? Are you there now?
Now,
Yep.
there you go. I'll repeat what I said. Safety car galore. No, not it. It's ridiculous. Safety cars were just, yeah.
Yeah, they're on
Safety
reduced too. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
one of them.
There's 5 safety cars in all that, and it was just one after the other, and just could not just find pace to push away or anything. So yeah, no words about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unlucky. One of the safety cars was literally caused because ZK spun and lost his front wing, and even though it's reduced safety car, the safety car still came out because of a lost front wing. It's ridiculous.
Welcome to
And
F124.
Monza, innit?
yeah, it's just F124 and Monza, but anyway, do you think you'll be back to try and topple Abyss?
Always.
Alrighty.
Always.
Good, good.
Race each other every week, so why not?
I hired you to beat him, alright? And you failed. How does that
There was
feel?
no KFC involved. What's wrong with you? Come on, man.
Yeah, I should have
You know my
known.
contract.
I gotta get KFC involved for the noodles.
Mhm.
It's a bit contrasting the fact that your name is Noodles and you like KFC instead.
Grow. You know what? Whinge about it.
Do you think you'll be here next week at Suzuka, or will you wait for another round?
At the moment 50-50. Just depends. In OCA depends if I need to sweat for that or not. At the moment it's 50-50.
So,
So yeah, we'll see.
nag you all week. Okay, good to know. Alrighty. Anyway, we're now gonna move to Abyss. Good job, Noodles. Oh, and he's already. Oh, whoops. Anyway.
We've got OCE
Um,
in like half an hour.
Yeah, I know. I told him about that. Anyway, Abyss, you're unstoppable. Obviously, I released a thing last week with your dominance could bore fans, but you picked up the P1 again by 600s this time. Were you sweating a little bit more that race?
No, because I spent the whole game looking at the pause menu.
Yeah.
What is 5? We did. What I counted it was 14 laps under safety car and 13 racing laps. We did 5 at the start, 3 in the middle, 2 there, and then a few at the end.
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult to commentate.
As I
if I'm
said in the
honest.
tier 1 chat, that was a showcase, not a race. So I don't really. It was a great little battle there at the end, but I much would have preferred. Noodles and I were going 6 seconds down the road after 5 laps, and we were on alternate strategies, and I took the pain on the hards early, and I managed to stay with him. So I would have liked to see how that turned out come the end of the race, but we will never know. But yeah, good little overtake. I went for a bit of an audacious move into turn 1, but a little bit of contact, but we survived that and it was all good. And then yeah, in a turn 1, I absolutely nailed the first chicane on the final lap, which gained me a few tenths on the Noodles. I was there, saw him turn his battery off, so I did the same, and then he made a mistake into the next chicane. I just rode his bum into there, and then I nearly lost it into the first Degner ride, whatever they're called. But then got a good run, and I had the DRS. I had like 70% ERS, so I was pretty confident I was going to get past him. Got past him easy. Took a good line through the chicane, and then I just had enough battery to hold on at the end. So yeah, perfectly managed for 2 laps, but otherwise the rest of the race was just waste
Yeah,
of time.
yeah.
That race should take 35 minutes at Monza normally, and that took I think 45 or nearly 50 minutes. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so you get less practice for OCE, but obviously with the threat of Noodles coming back to reserve, just to try and topple you, by the way.
Yeah, ironic that you get like 3 people in from other leagues that we know are quick, and I still win.
Yeah. Are you gonna have to turn it up a bit now? Do you think?
Well, over Noodles, what have I just gained another 8 points because I got the fastest lap on the last lap too, cheeky. I mean, I've got like 100 points on Noodles already,
Well, I'm
so.
not talking about championship. I'm just talking about for the race wins.
Oh, general races, yeah, they should be more entertaining. I think SV starting to figure it out as well. I mean, Big Man was there as well. He probably deserved a better result, but he just keeps a couple little strategy blunders. But other than that, I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll take one at a time. Currently, championship's looking very pretty, but one at a time, and yeah, worry about it then. I guess I'm
Alrighty.
driving
And
the car
then,
at the moment.
how do you feel about Suzuka?
Good track.
Alrighty.
Great
So
track.
look forward to watching your race in 30 minutes against most of the same people. Yeah, good luck for next week. Good luck for your race in a few minutes' time. And yeah, hopefully, well, not even hopefully, it's a guarantee I'll be talking to you next week.
Well, not a guarantee, mate. Anything can happen. But
I'm trying to
we'll
curse
see.
you,
Thanks,
okay?
mate. Appreciate it.
Have
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one.
Cheers.
Alrighty, that is going to be it for tonight. Yeah, great racing action. Well, great racing action for what little racing we had. And yeah, Suzuka next week. I'll be there on the comms block. Maybe J-Man might be joining me as well. And then Tier 2 obviously has next week coming up as well. We'll see you in Suzuka. And yeah,